Today we're going to explore fractions a little bit more, and we're going to look at multiplication of fractions using visual models. Back in 4th grade, they started having a very beginning look at what multiplying fractions might look like, usually a whole number by a fraction. Today we're going to revisit that to kind of help give us support for our 5th grade standard of applying and extending our previous understanding of multiplication to multiply a fraction or a whole number by a fraction. Eventually we're going to get into the idea of multiplication of fractions as in scaling, but that'll be for a future video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this rectangle in order to help illustrate where our numbers are coming from in a multiplication of fraction problem. So the problem that we're going to do is 1/3 times 2/4. And we're going to use this model so that kids have a visual in their mind of what's happening as we're dividing this rectangle up into thirds and 2/4. So we're going to take that first fraction and we're going to divide it into thirds. And we're going to show that 1/3 fraction by shading in one of the parts. We're then going to take the idea of 2/4 and we're going to divide our rectangle into fourths, and we're going to then shade in 2/4 of that model. So what we've done now is we've kind of shown the part that they both have in common as well as the total parts in the model. And it's really easy for us to be able to see that there are two parts that overlap, and this represents our numerator of 2. Now when we learned about 1 times 2 is 2, but we never really told kids why. This visual model will help us to understand the why behind it. And it's really important that we give kids repetition and practice in this so that they can, using numbers that are smaller, to be able to really see what's happening within the fraction. Now what we know about fractions is that our denominator is the parts of the whole that we have. In this situation, we have 12 parts. We've really created a 4x3 array here, and there's a total of 4 rows of 3 rows of 4. So that's where the 12 comes from. 3 times 4 is 12. Now remember, in 5th grade, the state of Ohio says that simplifying is not necessary in all cases. It's a case-by-case basis. So in this situation, we're just going to leave 2/12 as it is. But the really important thing is really concretely showing kids with a visual what's happening when we multiply fractions, and this is a great way for us to be able to do that.